All right, guys, how's it going? How we doing?
How we
Greg?
doing, everyone?
Hey, man, just want to do a little impromptu, quick little podcast because I just realized that the Kid Cudi album's coming out tonight, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, we just had a Timberwolves talk yesterday. I thought it went pretty well, so I just decided to do a little podcast tonight. Keep in touch, and yeah, Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon 3 is coming out. What do you think about it?
I don't know, man. I mean, I've listened to all the Kid Cudi albums all throughout. I've even been with him at From Speeding Bullet to Heaven, which is probably one of the worst albums ever made. I
Yeah.
stuck with him through that. So yeah, I'm just excited. I don't know what to expect really, but what we do got is we have Kid Cudi, man, Eason Belland. He's gonna be joining us in a few seconds. He's gonna be calling in here. He's in the top 0.5% of Kid Cudi listeners, and I know that this is probably one of the biggest days of his life tonight, waiting for this album. And he's even said that Kid Cudi with this album will save 2020 and make 2020 a good year again.
Yeah, that's a tall ask, but I mean, if anyone could do it, I guess it's Kid Cudi.
So let's just get him in here and see what he's got to say. All right, here he is.
Hey guys, thanks so much for having me. First off, I'm really excited to get on here and talk. Yeah, if we just get straight into it, I think this album's gonna be amazing. If we can steer kind of clear away from his last song with Eminem, that song was kind of garbage, if we're gonna be honest.
I was gonna bring that up. I was giving him a listen the other day, and I came across a song with Eminem, and it wasn't my favorite of tracks by Kid Cudi, but I'm pumped up for the album.
You know that song. It wasn't the best song, but you know who really brought it down was Slim Shady on that song. Well, it definitely wasn't Scott Mescudi.
No, it was the lyric about Drew Brees that really he dissed Drew Brees pretty hard. What?
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely see that. Peyton, I had a question for you. In this upcoming album, are you gonna want to see more of an album similar to Kids See Ghosts or more Man on the Moon?
See, that's a tough one because Kids See Ghosts is probably my favorite, one of my favorite albums in the last 3 or 4 years. So I mean, Man on the Moon 2, if I'm gonna be honest. See, I don't know. Well, I think it's gonna be a little combination of both. I think that's what I'm thinking here.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I think, looking back at it, Man on the Moon and Man on the Moon 2 are both probably top 10 of my favorite albums of all time. But if we're gonna really compare those two albums, I think it's gonna be closer to the Man on the Moon series, just because it's a continuation of that, and it's a longer album than Kids See Ghosts. Kids See Ghosts is only 7 songs. That was more of a Kanye variation on what Kanye wanted to see what Kid Cudi could be. I want to see what Kid Cudi really produces himself with.
That's a great take.
You had some very insightful takes on Kid Cudi. That is why you're called Kid Cudi, man. But just tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do, and why are you such a big Kid Cudi fan?
Yeah, it all started when I was younger. When I first found Kid Cudi to really connect with me. When I first started listening to, I actually found him on his remix with, what was that? Pursuit of Happiness remix. Who was that with?
Oh,
Steve Aoki. Yeah, that's when I first found Kid Cudi, and so ever since then, I haven't been able to get enough of him.
So, where do you go to? Are you in college? Where do you go to school? What's up with your?
Oh yeah. So I go to Nebraska, Lincoln. I'm an accounting major down there. I'm a sophomore, same age, and I'm originally from Hudson, Wisconsin, actually.
For sure, yeah. So let's pull up the track list. Why not? How do we do this here? Stop sharing. All right, can we see that?
we got it.
Yeah.
All right, so just looking at the track list, what are some of the songs that stick out to you here?
I'm definitely looking at the one with Trippie Redd, the Rockstar Nights. I think that's going to be a banger stepping out of the gate.
That's
I think
exactly what I was thinking too. I was when I first saw this image, I just saw the Trippie Redd and I said that song's gonna slap. Rockstar Nights, guaranteed.
for sure, because they have. I feel like they go so well together with their musical styles, for sure.
Yeah, they definitely flow together nicely.
How do you think Pop Smoke will fit into a song with Kid Cudi? Because I feel like that's two very different personalities and styles.
Oh, I love Pop Smoke, so I don't think they're gonna have any problem flowing together. But I can definitely see where you're coming from. Pop Smoke's definitely more, I guess, hood.
Well, see, with Pop Smoke, I can see him and Skepta because Pop Smoke's kind of got that British. Well, he had that British flow, kind of. Rest in peace to Pop Smoke. But it's I don't know what it's called, but there's a certain style of where of like the British rap, and Pop Smoke kind of did that in Dior. That's the style.
Yeah.
Skepta is a British rapper, so I feel like it's gonna be kind of that style more, and Kid Cudi's just gonna kind of fill in the blanks maybe with and just kind of go with their style.
Yeah, I definitely could see Cudi reaching down to that and flowing with that kind of type of music.
For sure, man. This album for me, honestly, it kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't really like he didn't really build it up much. He kind of did, but like it just kind of flew under the radar for me.
Well, it just kind of like there wasn't much hype for it because no one knew it was coming out, right?
Yeah, I just found out last week that it was coming out, so I didn't see much into it before at all.
Yeah, I know he posted some weird trailer on YouTube like a month ago, maybe.
Yeah, I saw that. That's what made me find the album originally.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just excited to have some new music.
Yeah, I mean we've talked about this how 2020's albums have kind of just been dry. Like when we were doing our top album list, like there's really just been nothing that's blown me away at all, really.
There you go, Eason.
Yeah. If you can pull up the track list, there's one more thing I wanted to ask you guys about. What do you guys think about his whole synopsis of his paragraph in the top?
Let's dissect that. Chris, you're very good at reading, so let's have you just read that for everyone.
All right. So in the last 10 years, Scott Miscuddy has been through hell and back. After feeling like his world was over, he found hope and overcame the darkness that was plaguing his life. But happiness isn't forever. What he thought was peace turns into a nightmare. He finds himself lost dealing with the same pain he had not felt in years. In one night, he must face himself again and fight to win back his soul from the evil Mr. Rager. Featuring epic production from the legend Dot to Genius, take a day trip, and the return of the team that helped start it all. Plain Pat, Emily Haney, and Mike Dean. Fall back into the world and twisted mind of Kid Cudi for the final installment in the Man on the Moon trilogy.
Wow.
I don't know about you guys, but that gets me excited.
Dude, that was like a Star Wars.
It's like it was just epic. Read it. Yeah, it looks like I was just about to say that. It looks like something that would come down from the Star Wars intro.
Yeah, it's a preview of the album. Not many rappers do that.
Well, dude, it's literally like it has Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. So they're all gonna have different themes. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, his albums in the past have told stories before.
For sure. So when he says Mr. Rager, who is that? So is that like his
That's like his alter ego dark side.
Alter ego is Mr. Rager.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Mr. Rager is more of a dark form of himself because I think he tries to get away from Mr. Rager.
But he's coming back now.
Because I think Mr. Rager was when he was in his depressed state.
So by reading that little quick blur, does that mean he's back depressed?
No, it says he's fighting off the evil from Mr. Rager.
So I think what he's kind of trying to say is I think he's going to triumph from Mr. Rager maybe at the end of Act 4, and he's going to end the Man on the Moon series, and maybe he's going into retirement. Who knows?
I like
Dude,
that
and he
take.
better. I don't think he is gonna go into retirement because he has an album with Travis Scott, right? And then isn't he coming out with another album with Kanye too?
I'm not sure about those.
I thought he said he had like 3 albums on the way.
I wouldn't doubt it. Most of those rappers say they're done and then come back out. Because think about Lil Wayne. He's came out with what 2 albums since he was retired from the game. I mean,
Well,
they
yeah,
haven't
what else
really
are they
been
gonna
any
do?
good, but
I mean, he has
still,
nothing. Yeah, they got nothing else to do. Like, what are they? They're just gonna keep making music.
That's
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah, so Cuddy, man, he's 36 years old. That is crazy to think about.
He must have really not like I think he hit his prime a little bit later than a lot of rappers do, because I feel like a lot of rappers hit their prime from maybe like 19 to 23, but he was definitely a little bit older, I think.
Well, when do you guys know when Man on the Moon and Man on the Moon 2 came out? Man on the Moon came out in 2009 and Man on the Moon 2 came out in 2010. So
Dude,
that was 10 years ago. So he was 29 when he hit his prime, basically. So yeah, that is pretty old.
Yeah.
That's crazy that was 10 years ago since we got the last Man on the Moon.
Yeah, he just kind of left it at those too. He left us hanging. I think this is really gonna wrap up the albums.
It's so weird because rappers nowadays, or even artists in general, like no one really comes out with like these story albums, or like their albums don't really have meaning. It's just kind of like a playlist with a bunch of random songs.
Yeah, all the rappers nowadays just talk about how much money they have and how many girls they're able to get, but those rappers just fall off quick. That's why they don't stick.
I would 100% agree. I think Man on the Moon, honestly, it's like it reminds me so much of the Carter trilogy, or not trilogy, just the Carter series in general, because it's an actual story just following different segments.
Mm-hmm.
The Carter,
it's almost about their own lives, right? The Carter compared to the Man on the Moon series.
Yeah,
they're very similar.
I think the reason why Kid Cudi has such a big fan base and such a good following is because he actually raps about real things and he's like relatable. Unlike these other rappers are rapping about like the money and all the girls and stuff, but none of us have that.
No.
You know, so like we can relate easier to Kid Cudi because he actually raps about real life, real world things.
I can definitely see that.
And that's
I think Kids See Ghosts was definitely a big representation of that too. Him and Kanye were just rapping basically about what's going on in their head and what they're feeling.
Well, Kids See Ghosts for me was a big milestone for Cudi because it was his first actually like good album ever since he came out with that note. His, I don't know what you want to call that, suicide note or almost suicide note. But ever since then, he's been hitting, because you got, other than the song with Eminem, you had that whole album, and then the Scots, which was an absolute banger.
Yeah, the Scots was his first Apple Music #1, or his first top chart #1 song he's ever had.
Yeah, and that's good to see how late that came out in his career.
Isn't that crazy though to think about? Like you think about all his big songs and like he's never even had a #1, and then like Cardi B gets a #1 like every time she releases a song.
Yeah, that's really tough to think about. Like you just think like, I don't know, what was Pursuit of Happiness's top? That never, it must have cracked top 10 on some type of Billboard.
Dude, it's probably still in the top 100. It's got to be.
Yeah, I don't know. Peyton, I had a question for you. Maybe you can answer this, maybe you can't. But if you look at under Act 3, song 11, Elise's Baby Boy, and then in parentheses says flashback. What do you think that means?
Let me break it down. So this is without any prior knowledge. Chris can fact check me. What I'm going to guess is that Elise is probably his mom.
Okay.
Let's definitely give that a fact check.
So Elise's baby boy would essentially be him.
He's talking about himself.
He's the youngest,
okay.
He's the youngest son, so he's talking about himself in a flashback.
That's right.
Oh wow.
And that's why he's going to talk about the heart of rose gold. Because and September 16th, that's obviously a big day in his life. That's either going to be the date he was born, maybe, Chris, or
or what? Maybe the day he got married, or
maybe the day he
Actually,
had
not
a
his
son?
birthday. I was
You
thinking
know-
more
you
so
know-
on a darker side.
Yep, I'm going with Chris since it
Oh,
comes
his
right
mom-
after his mom. Yep, it's gonna be his mom's death. I bet.
Chris,
Getting on it.
thank you. That.
We're pulling this whole album apart before it even comes out.
Let's really dissect it. Chris, what do you think? What do you think about that?
About the date?
Yep.
Well, I think his mom actually didn't. I can't find a ton right now, but I don't think his mom died on that date. I was thinking more so maybe it's the day he almost tried to maybe end his life, more so in that way than his mom's death.
Okay.
I'll say on it.
So then you look at Love and Me. So that's obviously he's starting a lot. Like, I think that's kind of when he beat Mr. Rager in Act 2, and you go into Act 3, and now he's starting to look back on his life. The void, like he had a void in his life, and then in 14 he starts loving himself again.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I'm just trying to look at the different act names right now, trying to dissect what those mean. The Rager, the Menace. I bet Act 2 is going to be a pretty dark act.
Yes, I'm thinking
with
number
Pop Smoke in there, and Solo Dolo. Even Solo Dolo, they're normally about how he feels alone in himself.
Beautiful Trip, dude. Act 1 is gonna be crazy.
Tequila Shots, Another Day. She knows.
Beautiful Trip, and it's called Return to Madness, dude. That one's just gonna be straight energy.
They're just gonna be bangers.
Then it's probably gonna get dark around Act 2, and then Act 3, it's probably gonna get pretty like reminiscent. And then number 4, he's gonna be just going out and riding out into the sunset. I
would love to see a couple songs that are a lot similar to Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying, where they're not hits, but if you actually listen to them and if you actually take them for what they are, they're actually really good songs.
Yeah, the same for me. I really don't want any big hits out of this album. I kind of just want it just to be made for like the Cudi fans, not really for like the mainstream. Just kind of like something. I think that's what he's gonna do. I think he's gonna.
Yeah, the fact that he came out with this and that whole paragraph about it, he's trying to tell a story. He's not about getting views and getting listens.
So my take on this, I think Act 1 he's going to come out with some of his more mainstream songs, just normal, just him living. Act 2 is going to be the dark times. It's going to be the songs where he kind of goes down in a hole. Act 3, he's going to lay his heart on his sleeve. They're going to be very emotional songs. Then Act 4 is the triumph.
Act 4, he finally conquers the Rager.
Yep.
I like that. I like to hear that.
I'm just so excited.
That'd be a good way to do it. It's almost like a movie.
Dude, he was I saw something that he was gonna come out with a Netflix series that was also an album.
I think I heard about that. I don't really know much about it though. I heard he was gonna come out with a show or something like that.
Yeah.
I haven't really heard much about it. How would that work?
Google on that or something?
Yeah, how would that work with the net? So if he came out with the album with the Netflix, would he drop the songs in the one every single episode of the series? Like, how would that work?
Probably. That's the only thing I could think of is how we would do it. I don't
know. You guys
kind of yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Kind of Peyton, what was that show about the kids? I think it had Childish Gambino in it. Do you know what I'm talking about? You used to watch it in high school.
Atlanta?
Yeah. Do you think it's gonna be like that?
See, I don't know. I was thinking more of like I don't even know. That's why it's like it's never like it's something that's not even close to being done ever. So like it would be like the first time that anything like that has ever happened. So I don't even know what to expect by that.
So the only thing I'm finding is an intergalactic show. Which he says it's a young man on a journey to discover love.
It's real? It's a real thing?
So what it says is it came on July 22nd, 2019. He announced the new album Intergalactic and then the soundtrack featured a new adult animated series coming to Netflix.
I don't think it ever came.
Yeah, so I don't know if that got canceled or what the deal was with that.
Intergalactic, because that's a song on Man on the Moon 1.
I mean, maybe we got an album forthcoming in the coming, because he said it's coming in the coming years. So I mean, I don't.
So maybe we got some foreshadowing.
I guess so.
That's crazy. I'm just looking on like Man on the Moon like 1, just trying to find like what because I had a few songs on there that weren't like the big ones that I really liked. Do like Sky Might Fall. It's a great song.
Yes.
Heart of a Lion. I don't do the whole album like that.
Are you looking at Man on the Moon 1, Peyton?
Yeah, Man on the Moon 1. Up and
Yeah.
Away.
Up and Away is a banger.
Cuddy's Own, Make Her Say. Almost like I could name half of those songs that I could listen to and know every word.
Soundtrack to My Life is one of my favorite ones too. That one's really good.
Yeah, that's one of his most famous ones.
And then Man on the Moon 2. Honestly, I might like Man on the Moon 2 better. I had to be honest.
You think? A lot of people.
I think so, man.
You know, I think a lot of people have that same opinion, but that's not mine. I really like Revov. I don't know how to say that, but you know what I'm talking about.
Revofev, yeah.
Revofev. Marijuana, Mojo So Dope. Those are all fantastic songs.
I thought Erase Me was pretty good too. I remember liking that one a lot from too.
Erase Me is one of his best songs he's ever had, for sure. What else do I like? Mr. Rager, dude. That's probably one of my favorite.
I think Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying is one of his most slept on albums. Definitely, because we got By Design, Rose Golden, Baptized in Fire, Kitchen. That's a good one.
Kitchen.
And Surfing with Pharrell Williams.
Okay, yeah, I've heard Surfing before.
Yeah.
Okay, so look back on Speeding Bullet to Heaven. Have you ever listened to any songs on that?
Yeah, I've heard a couple. I haven't really actually listened to it, but I've heard songs off there.
Cause they're weird, man. Am I having bad Wi-Fi? Is it me?
I think you might be cutting out a little bit sometimes.
I can.
Okay, it's a little bit better now, but it was.
Yeah, it's better now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but Speeding Bullet to Heaven. Some people are like saying that was like the worst album ever made. Like, Chris, you know Sean C?
Yeah.
When did that come out?
He gave it a 0 out of 10.
Really?
Yeah, he gave it a 0 out of 10. It came out in 2015.
2015.
Yeah, I don't think. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if I've even heard any of these songs. Man in the Night, I've heard that one.
I like Confused and Handle with Care. Both those songs are actually pretty solid. It's just so different from what he usually does. But like the thing about it is, it just follows like his like path. Like he was probably in the darkest place he's ever been, so he just released like the weird whatever was going on in his head. He just released that album.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the album cover of that too, that's just one of the most random album covers I've ever seen in my life.
I bet that's actually a big description on what he was feeling, because it looks like he's spinning.
Yeah.
And it also looks like he's like crying out to the heavens, and then you look at the title of that album, like Speeding Bullet to Heaven, like that means like he's gonna die soon, like he's going up next.
Yeah.
So like, and then he released to the letter, I think, right after he got all the negative feedback from this album. That's when he checked himself in.
Is that when it was?
Yep, right after this album.
Yeah.
So
I remember that day. That was a sad day when I read that.
It's crazy, man. His life has just been his life actually has been a movie.
Yeah. Have you guys seen any of his interviews?
Yeah.
like the ones where he talks about like when he was like when he first got big, how he would like he would have to like be drunk, like do cocaine and like just and all that just in order to like go into the studio. Like he couldn't even like do anything.
Yeah, no, I've heard that. Did you ever listen to his TED Talk, Peyton?
Oh, dude, yeah, I did a project on that in school. Every time we had to do a TED Talk project, I would always pick that one. What do you talk about in that?
So he was at like his own high school that he went to, and he basically just talked about how he grew up and how he really didn't know what he was going to do with his life, and then he found music, and music kind of like saved him.
I just remember he like calls up one of his teachers and like gives her a hug or something, doesn't he?
Yeah, one of his classmates he went to school with.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, because it doesn't even say like Kid Cudi TED Talk. It's just like Scott Muscati.
Yeah, it's Scott Muscati, and people don't know who Scott Muscati is unless you really know Kid Cudi.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah. So that's awesome too that he like even would do that.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
But yeah, man. So I guess just to go, I mean, we're excited for the album, but I got another topic for you. So you're also a huge J. Cole guy, right?
Yes.
Did you see him drop all those music videos on YouTube?
No. What music videos?
Yesterday he dropped. Let me pull it up to be exact. But he dropped about 9 music videos yesterday.
For what songs?
Like No Role Models.
I thought he already had all the Forest Hills Drives or music.
He dropped a music video of that. I thought I saw one a long time ago.
Yeah.
For Sideline Story. Oh, Fire Squad.
Oh,
Workout. He dropped again. Can't get in. What?
I thought these were already music videos.
I've seen the No Role Models one.
No, Fire Squad.
Oh, okay. So he dropped Fire Squad because it was the anniversary of 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
And he dropped Lost Ones, Simba, Workout.
There's a Lost Ones?
Yeah. So I think he had them in the vault and he just decided to release them.
That's a J. Cole move.
It's weird that he released.
What?
It's weird that he released songs from that album when it was the 2014 Forest Hills Drive's anniversary.
And it was also For Your Eyes Only anniversary. He always dropped the albums on December 9th.
Okay, Peyton, I think you're right on how he always had them, but he never dropped them. Because if you look at the Lost Ones, he's young.
Yeah,
you can tell. You can tell he's younger.
I think he just decided to.
I definitely have seen this. These have definitely been out before, Peyton. I've seen this video before.
I think it's like the official.
Was supposed to drop. Interesting. It was supposed to drop yesterday.
Dude, imagine if we would have got a J. Cole album yesterday and then Kid Cudi tonight.
He was supposed to come out with an album yesterday?
Yeah, it's called The Fall Off. I guess it was scheduled to come out yesterday, but I don't know why it didn't.
Interesting. I did hear about that.
I think it was just kind of like people were like hoping like, oh yeah, he always releases albums on December 9th. Like there's probably a good chance he'll release The Fall Off on December 9th, but like all he did was give us.
He probably wasn't ready.
Yeah, he just gave us some.
He's not gonna release something that's not ready.
No,
he's too mature for that, man.
So if he does come out with a new album, what songs do you want to see? What are you looking forward to for it?
Like, what do you?
Like, there's one song I've been waiting on for like 10 years now, and it's Old Simba. So you know how he's got the young Simba, and then he's got grown Simba.
Old Simba.
Old Simba. I want that song to come out. Maybe he's still too young for that, but.
So who's Simba's dad in The Lion King? Mufasa?
Mufasa, yeah.
Maybe he'll call it Mufasa.
Maybe he'll call himself that.
Maybe.
Yeah. No. Well, what do we got? Dollar in a Dream 4 needs to come out still.
Dollar in a Dream 4.
Lost Ones Part 2.
Yep.
Oh jeez. I want another song with 21 to come out.
Yeah, dude, they had some weird chemistry. I was not expecting that.
That was they did actually have some great chemistry.
That song is probably one of my favorite songs at the moment still, even though it came out over a year ago, over like 2 years ago almost.
When he did that, when he came out with all those features, like he would do a feature like every couple weeks. Some of those are so good, dude.
I think what he was doing by releasing all those features was he was kind of mentoring the next generation of rappers. It seemed, or not next generation, but it seemed like he was the mentor in all those singles that he released. Like he was like kind of passing on the torch.
Dude, I could definitely see that with 21. His new album came out. I liked it a lot.
I love Savage Mode,
some
actually.
similarities. I could definitely see some similarities between those two.
I mean, yeah, because if you're a young rapper who's just like starting to like, you kind of blew up a couple of years ago, but you're trying to remain relevant, the person that you want to go to for that is J. Cole, because he's been relevant since like he's been relevant for so long, and he doesn't even come out with music, but he's just still always relevant.
He's always relevant. He's still one of the so for me, I consider there are 4 top greats in like this generation of rapping. So it's gonna be J. Cole, Kendrick, Kanye, and Drake. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Same exact thing.
Yeah, I mean that's you can't get much better than that. Drake, I mean, maybe like you could put him like more in like the pop like section.
Yeah, I could see that. But
would you guys say Kanye's at the top of our goats, our generation?
I honestly, I wouldn't say he's. I think we're a little bit for like. I think he's a little old. I think he hit his prime like right before we got into like music, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, what year was graduation? That was a while ago.
That was 2007. So I was definitely not listening to that when it came out.
Yeah. So like for us, I feel like our top 2 are probably, or our top, I don't know, because Kanye is still pretty relevant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
he's still coming
out
with music. Kanye's even older than Kid Cudi.
Yeah. I would say honestly for us, maybe I think even Drake was releasing stuff when we were. I would say those 3 though are definitely in the wheelhouse of Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick. All I think we're kind of, but then again, they released stuff before we got into rap too. So I don't know how you would gauge that.
So I'd put like Kanye with like Jay-Z and Eminem. I think that's like the generation right before Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake.
Okay.
I mean, because yeah,
I could see that. That's fair.
You don't even have Cudi in your top tier?
Do I?
Yeah, you don't have him.
Oh well, he's my favorite. Is he a top 5 rapper?
No,
probably not. I love him. I love him to death, but not everyone thinks the same way as me.
Well, let's just give him a chance though. After this Man on the Moon 3, he might.
Maybe that's his problem. He hasn't came out with enough recently.
Yeah, he's been fighting Mr. Rager too much.
I guess we could kind of transition into so Peyton had this bold prediction at the beginning of the year that the Vikings, when they were, what were they, like 1-6 or something, 1-5?
1-5.
They were 1-5. Peyton said they were the best 1-5 team ever, and they were going to the playoffs. And I didn't believe him one bit, but I don't know. Chris, I want to hear your thoughts on it.
You know, Chris, ever since we were 1-5, we're now 6-1.
Yeah, you know what's the funny part too is we were 5-1 and you guys were 1-5. We lost 6 straight and you guys won 5 out of your last 6. So I don't know if there's some money in there. What the deal is.
Weird how that works, Chris. No, it's all strength of schedule. We had a really easy middle schedule, and then I mean coming up we play. We go Tampa Bay this week, and then I think we go to New Orleans next week. So those are definitely 2 possible losses. And I think we end with the Bears and the Lions. So The wild card might come down to our game, Chris. You never know.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. I want to say you guys might get the spot over the Cardinals. You're just playing better football.
I think so. I don't think Kyler's ready for the playoffs. He's a great player, but the way Kirk has been playing the last couple of games, I think he's destined for a playoff run.
So another question: Why can't Kirk Cousins come out until November? Why is it like this every single year?
You know, I can't really tell you. It's something where he's got to get used to the game, or maybe he didn't like the no fans at first, but now he's getting comfortable with it, and now he's thriving with it. So
Yeah, I mean, I can't deny that. Kirk Tober and Kirk Vember is definitely a real thing.
Kirk Sember, man's coming up.
yeah, I'm waiting for Kirk Sember.
Dude, so what's up with Kirk? He's been going on like a media like rampage. Like he just did the Pat McAfee show. He just did the Barstool guys.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's because he's starting to win games. No one wants to talk to him when he's losing, when he's going 4-4. They want to talk to him when he's won 5 out of the last 6 because he's hot. He's throwing for 300 yards and at least 2 touchdowns every game. He's got 2 of the best receivers in the game to throw to.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I think I wasn't fully on the Justin Jefferson train because I don't know why Zimmer. First of all, I don't know why Zimmer sat him the first 2 games, but then he just blew up, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta hop on the train now. So I like him a lot, and the dance too. You can't
the dance.
You can't forget the gritty.
Yeah, I like it. I think he definitely is leading his receiver class, and it's between him and what's the Chargers quarterback name?
Herbert
for rookie of the year. Herbert had a bad week last week though, so we'll see how those 2 both finish out for that case.
So do you think that Jefferson is better than Diggs?
No.
What about all-around value? So he's on a rookie contract right now. Diggs wanted all that money. Diggs is a bad locker room guy.
All-around value, definitely.
I mean, but he's thriving in Buffalo now, though, is the situation too.
Yeah, Diggs is leading the league in receiving yards right now.
I'll always love Diggs, man. He brought me the happiest moment of my life, probably.
Yeah, I punched a hole in my wall that moment. My brother broke his arm.
Jeez.
Yeah, my family had a little rundown when that happened.
My uncle, who's a bit diehard Vikings, diehard Minnesota sports fan, he started crying. I saw him.
Can I tell you guys a story about what happened that game?
Let's hear it.
So I was watching the game. It was me and Skylar, who's a Lions fan for everybody watching, and Ben, who's a Packers fan. Yeah. And the whole game, we're up, we're winning, we're cruising. I'm happy, they're happy, or whatever. They're kind of rooting for the Saints, kind of not. And then comes down to the 4th quarter, and Breeze goes down and throws a touchdown with like 25 seconds left. Yep. And I'm sitting there just like, fuck. And these 2 get up and are just hooting and hollering, going crazy, just rubbing it all in my face. And then, what do you know, Case Keenum throws an absolute dime, and Diggs goes all the way, and I absolutely lost it.
Hey, can we pull up the Marcus Williams picture?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, you share it. You share it because you got
do I have the privilege now?
Yeah, you got the privilege to share now. We upgraded you.
All right.
Well, yeah. So, Mark, is that guy still in the league?
Yeah, he's actually a pretty good safety too, because he was a rookie that year, I believe.
Yeah, wasn't he like almost defensive rookie of the year?
I think he was. Man, okay. Here's the perfect example.
All right, so yeah, when you share, I'll be able to pull it up, I think. Yeah, here we go. You got oh, here it
is. Oh, there it is.
Here we go. Oh man, just what was going through his head at this point? Why was he not tracking the ball?
You know, It's late in the game. The last thing he probably wanted was a pass interference call. Right?
Yeah.
He was in no position to make a play on the ball, so he's like, I'm not gonna make a dumb pass interference call. He's gonna catch it, and maybe I'll undercut him to maybe get him to drop the ball. I really don't know.
What are they saying in this article? I kind of want to see what they're saying.
That guy says that's a doctored image. Let's take another look.
Oh man, they're gonna roast him on here.
Wow,
Notice anything different?
He's actually on a cell phone this play.
What?
I did not see that.
What? Interesting cover.
Interesting memes on this page, but
No, but yeah, that was definitely a tough look for the rookie. But for us, man, that brought us the best moment in Minnesota sports history, I'd say.
Peyton, have you seen that video where it's like the Saints playoff losses the last like 6 or 7 years?
Mm.
It's every single year they're in the playoffs and they get just screwed somehow. It's either like
the Roman Coleman hit.
Yeah, the hit next year that didn't get called pass interference. But if you actually look back at it, there's a video somewhere online that shows the years before the Minneapolis Miracle, they've been getting screwed over too.
It might just be karma. Maybe it's karma for Bountygate.
I hope so. Bountygate when they were paying players to target Brett Favre. Ugh.
Well, so one of the members of Bountygate, Jonathan Vilma, you know who that is?
No.
He's the guy that's been doing the Vikings game the last 2 weeks. He's been announcing the Vikings games.
Oh,
and
really?
I cannot stand him. He is.
I did not know that.
So he was part of Bountygate, and he's so against the Vikings when he's so biased against the Vikings when he does our
noticed that. I noticed that 2 weeks ago in the Panthers game. I'm like, dude, just shut up. Like, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say it. I noticed that I was sitting in my basement talking with my dad. I'm like, who is this guy?
He was so bad.
Yeah, they've had some rookie announcers on the Vikings games because I get all the Vikings games, so I listen to them and stuff. And they've had like, I can't remember the last time they've had like a primetime announcer. It's just all random Fox Sports. It seems like just Fox Sports interns.
Well, did we have the first woman to ever do an NFL game? I thought it was Doris Burke the whole game.
Dude, I said that too.
Actually, you saying that now makes it think that it's not her. I thought it was her.
You know what I don't get though? I get Justin Jefferson's having like this really good rookie run, but have you noticed the last 3 weeks Fox has always pulled up a Randy Moss graphic beside him every single week with his rookie stats? I'm like, that's see, when you try to make a kid start living up to that, that's just really, really tough.
Well, yeah, they have to because it's a rookie Vikings wide receiver that's breaking records, so they're gonna compare him.
But yeah, we want to be careful with that because if they start overdoing that and then he starts not living up to the expectations, could have a bad situation there.
Yep. Chris, what are the Bears looking like right now? What's their situation?
So, yeah, I mean, I think you were right a lot about the strength of schedule, but I mean, like, even in the first 5 games, I mean, we beat some notable teams. Like the Panthers at that time were a winning team, and then we beat the Bucks on prime time, which was huge. That's when Tom Brady forgot the down. And then, I don't know, I don't know which, I mean, the Packers game was just brutal, but the stretch, actually, the offenses just look terrible. I think we're missing a lot of our offensive linemen. I don't think Allen Robinson's really into this team anymore. Mitchell Trubisky has to come back now because of the injury. It's brutal. And last week, actually, we put together a decent play on offense and dropped 34 points, but then the defense doesn't step up. So it just seems like they're not connecting, they're not clicking. I think the whole issue just stems to we need a quarterback and some offensive linemen.
Yeah, I was surprised you guys lost that game last week. That was a shock.
Yeah, up by 10 with a few minutes left was I don't know how they lost it either.
I do not care who wins this year as long as it's not the Packers. If the Packers are in really good position, there is nobody else in the NFC other than the Saints that really have even come close to them. No Steelers, no Chiefs that they have to worry about.
Nope.
They're gonna cruise right into that NFC Championship.
I honestly, they might be the favorites to make the Super Bowl bid in the NFC. So I mean, I hope the Chiefs lay a beat down on them because right now it's looking like Chiefs Packers in my opinion.
It really is, because if you think about it, the Saints don't even have Drew Brees anymore.
Nope.
He's out for the season. So who's gonna stop him? The Saints are the next best record, and
they're off. They just look off some games.
The Seahawks are god awful.
Yeah.
We almost beat them.
What?
Yeah, the Vikings.
We almost beat the Seahawks.
See, it's just terrible because, like, worst case scenario is Aaron Rodgers wins MVP and they win a Super Bowl. And coming from NFC North fans, that's like the worst possible scenario.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to win MVP. Yeah. I think it's going to be Mahomes again.
I think so too.
It's stupid. I saw a stat when I was watching his games like a week ago, 2 ago. He just passed Brady, Manning, Breeze for passing yards per game, touchdowns per game, and a whole bunch of other stats. And the only reason why he wasn't ahead of them already was because there's a minimum pass attempt of like 1,500 or something like that.
Yeah, I saw he was like I think he was the quickest to 100 passing touchdowns by like a year and a half or something, almost 2 years.
Jeez, that's crazy.
I can't believe that.
Because he had what, 55 touchdowns last year?
Yep.
That's crazy. Oh my God.
You guys think that
Bears could have had him or Deshaun Watson? Just thinking about it kind of hurts.
Peyton, I want Deshaun Watson. He has nothing going on in Houston. They're done. Their whole organization's falling apart. I want him to leave and come to the Vikings. As much as I like Kirk, him on the Vikings, NFC Championship type team.
I'm a lot higher on Dak Prescott than a lot of people. I hope the Cowboys do not give him money because I think him on the Vikings or Bears would be just that would make it so these teams can finally compete with the Packers.
I could definitely see him on the Bears.
I guess we're gonna get a quarterback one way or another. I don't know because this is a good quarterback draft, but it's really only the top 4 quarterbacks that are good. And like you have the Trevor Lawrence's, you have the Justin Fields, that Zach Wilson kid from BYU is really good, and then Trey Lance from NDSU. But all those dudes are probably going to go within the top 12, and I think the Bears might land at 13 or 14. So I guess Dak Prescott could be an option.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Peyton, when we were still 1-5 and when we were in the tank mode, I really wanted the Vikings to tank and draft Justin Fields.
Dude, that'd be an interesting fit because we have not had like an athletic quarterback, like a dual threat quarterback like that, really in a while, since Culpepper.
Yeah, I was gonna say since him.
So Dante Culpepper might be the most mobile you guys have ever had.
Or we had that one Gophers quarterback.
Oh yeah, wasn't he a wide receiver or something?
Yeah, Joe Webb.
Joe
Webb.
He was good. He was decent for a little bit.
Who was that other guy?
He was good for like a game.
Slaughter or something?
Oh, Slater. He was just our backup.
What about T-Jack?
Didn't he die?
Did he pass away? I think he passed away.
I think I did see that.
That's terrible. But he was always a good backup for us.
That's
I would always play with him in Madden.
Didn't you guys have like Josh Campbell for like a game or something? He threw like 4 picks, like one of the worst performances ever in a debut.
Yeah, we also had
Josh Freeman. I think it might have been Josh Freeman.
And did we have Donovan McNabb for a few games too?
You had old Donovan McNabb.
We had a phase there where we just went through quarterbacks so much.
Brett Favre, Christian Ponder.
Yeah.
Never
forget Christian. I think Christian Ponder might be the most iconic Vikings quarterback ever.
He's probably the worst Vikings quarterback ever.
He got married in Hudson.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
government's there.
He got carried by Adrian Peterson.
he
Dude,
did.
if you're Samantha Ponder, how are you marrying this man?
I don't know. I don't know why she changed her name. She should have kept it. Wasn't it
Samantha Storm was so sick.
Dude, Samantha Ponder is very good looking as well.
Like she was like the top ESPN woman's like football analyst at the time, and she chooses Christian Ponder.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Well, she had beef with Dave Portnoy.
Why?
Because they would always talk about her on their show, like about how she's like attractive and stuff. And then like she like got mad at them, and then they like insulted her kid. So she like confronted him at like a bar, and then he does a whole podcast. He talks about it in the whole podcast about how she like confronted him for like an hour.
Jeez.
Oh, because Barstools was about to join ESPN. They had like an ESPN show, and then she like revealed like their old tweets that were like against women, and then they pulled the show before it even started.
I think I do remember hearing about that, Peyton.
Yeah, so she's got beef with Barstool, so we don't like her.
Yeah,
it's very interesting. So I don't know. I hope the Packers don't win the Super Bowl because Packer fans have just been so. Like all the other NFC North teams throughout our lives have had their issues. Like the Bears have gone through it for a while. The Vikings have gone through it for a while. I would hate to be a Lions fan. Like that would be terrible. Packers fans always throughout their whole life, like at our age, it's all been good. Like they go from one Hall of Fame quarterback to the next Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, they don't know hardship like we do.
No, not at all. We should do a little NFC North, sit down because we got fans from each of the teams.
Seawick on here, yeah.
We just get them all in.
I was just talking to Seawick. He's upset with the Lions. He's very upset with the Lions.
What is the problem with the Lions? I think they do everything wrong. So, like, what more could he possibly be upset with?
That's what he says. He's really upset about how they've been drafting the last couple of years. They've just had horrible draft classes.
They're in prime position, so they're probably going to get like this 5th or 6th spot this year. And I think Jamar Chase is probably going to be one of the best wide receivers in the league. So I think if they draft him with Matthew Stafford throwing, I think they'll be just fine. And they have Galladay, Jones, and him.
Yeah, I don't think they really need a receiver. I think they need to work on that defense.
Patricia definitely wasn't the answer.
No, I was glad. I'm not even a Lions fan. I'm glad they got rid of him.
I wish they would have kept him for a little bit longer, just for our sake. But dude, we always lose to the Lions.
That is true. The one NFL game I've been to, the Vikings got blown out by Golden Tate. Golden Tate alone.
Yeah, man. It's just tough being a Vikings fan, but right now, like, we're cruising and we're gonna win. We're gonna win against the Bucs. We're gonna win against the Saints. We're gonna win against the Bears. I think we're gonna lose against the Lions.
You don't think you're taking one of those games? Oh, you're taking the Lions game up, but not the Bucs or the Saints.
I think we got the Lions. I think we got the Bears, and I think we lose to both.
If one of those you guys won, I think it would probably be the Bucs. But
I think we'd beat the Saints. I think it'd be the Saints. Yeah, we always beat the Saints for some weird reason.
And they don't have Drew Brees. I thought Drew Brees was coming back.
I don't know. There's a high possibility Taysom Hill just lights us up because he has in the past in those playoff games.
You guys finally overcame the Soldier Field curse or whatever. Didn't you guys not win there in like 7 years or something?
That's not a real thing. We're not worried about that.
I don't know. I've never heard that stat. I don't know what you're talking about.
And Andrew will always come up to me and say, "We just can't win at Soldier Field," and they finally did it.
No, that's a little it's a little Bears thing they make up. They got a little like, oh yeah, we got the Vikings.
Make us feel a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, any stat they can down in Chicago.
Yeah, they're just making up random stats like one that's below 32 degrees. We got a winning percentage against the Vikings. Or so they just got all these
only on Thursday nights and there's a full moon. The Bears haven't lost.
I think it's incredible because the Vikings over like the past like 40 years have acquired like I think it's the 3rd most wins or something crazy like that. But they just can't get the. Do you guys think the Super Bowl will ever come? Like, is there Is there going to be a time when it comes?
I just hope it comes in my lifetime. I hope it comes in my dad's lifetime. But
I don't know. I don't see it not happening this year. I think that if we can get into that wild card spot, I don't see an NFC team that we can't not beat.
So are you guys kind of like the Miami Heat of the football league?
I
Just like
could
that
definitely
random
see it.
team.
Just everything is coming together, dude. We got Dantzler. He's like he's like a top 3 ranked corner in the last 3 weeks.
He was the number 1 on Pro Football Focus, I think, in the last 3 weeks.
Tiny Dantzler, dude. He's a very talented player.
Yeah, that's an Omar quote, isn't it?
It is.
Did you always say "Hold me closer"?
Tiny Dantzler.
Jeff Dantzler. Is that
What
his
is-
name?
Yeah, I think. What about number 29, dude? He's the word.
Is that Gladney?
Yeah, I think it is Jeff Gladney. I was just about to say that.
No, I thought it was Harris.
What's Holton Hill's number? Is he
No,
24?
Harris is 41. Anthony Harris, is that who you're talking about? Anthony
Yeah,
Harris
so-
is great.
Harris. So didn't you guys? Wasn't he
There's
like one of the
Arthur
best
Harris.
safeties last year? What?
Yeah, he was tied in the league for the most interceptions last year.
And then because I was talking to Andrew about this, and he did not want to like give Anthony Harris a chance. He wanted to trade him away while he had value, and then this year, I don't know what happened.
He's been pretty good. Dude, you know who we need back? We need our linebackers. We need back Barr and we need back Kendricks, and that defense goes from a C to a B.
Kendricks, I think, is the glue that holds your guys' team together.
Yeah, Kendricks has been playing phenomenal. Last week he had 3 interceptions in the last 4 games from a middle linebacker.
His pick that he had when he was like diving backwards.
Yeah,
One of the
that
most
was
healthy.
insane.
What did
It
you
was
guys think? What did you guys think of Jeremy Chin?
Oh my
Dude, he
Those
was,
are 2 stupid plays, Chris.
he was riding him so hard. Vilma, the announcer.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, he called him rookie. He's like, he just solidified his rookie of the year status in AFC. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
he was
hell no.
he was making me so mad when he was talking about. I'm like, dude, you need to stop.
What did you think? What did you think about that Dallas game when CD Lamb had that crazy catch and then Thielen just followed it right up?
Well, again, talking about the Jonathan Vilma guy, he's like, this is the best catch I've ever seen. He's like, this is a pro receiver making that play. Like he was just, and then when Thielen did it, he barely missed anything.
And Thielen's catch was definitely better.
It was such a good. Thielen is
It was
just
one-handed.
it was such a good catch.
So was the Cowboys game just like it was just one of those games that like maybe it was just an off night, or is that a true sign of what's going to come out in the playoffs?
No,
I don't know because we had the Cowboys game and then we had a drive against Carolina that we won, and then we just took the
Jags
Jags
game.
to OT.
I honestly thought after the third quarter, I thought the Jags might win that game.
No, I knew we had the Jags game was just so many special teams errors. We should have lost that game so many ways.
That is literally like the Vikings special teams this year. Because is Chad Beebe been fielding punts now or whatever?
Well, he was the one who muffed it against the Jags.
And then your guy's long snapper too, the one that got cut. Like,
dude, we need to fire our special teams coach.
Yeah.
Because there was another funny play because that special teams coach was just getting yelled at the whole game, and then you guys ran a fake punt, I think. But so
yeah, and
when
the flag got called back.
Yeah, when you guys got the fake punt, he goes up and starts clapping in Zimmer's face and like yelling, and then the flag comes and gets called back.
Yeah, we had that. Didn't Cordero return one against us too?
Yeah. Start of the second half.
Yeah, that was bad.
Well, dude, I know a long snapper who could snap better for the Vikings than what we've
Dude,
been.
I do too.
Yeah, I mean, sign the man to a 10-day contract. Let him go to work.
Seriously,
I'm sure he'd do it for free.
He'd pay them. I'd pay them. No, but like long snapping, I feel like I don't know. If you're doing bad long snap, you're getting cut. Like as simple as that. Like you just can't have bad snap.
Well, yeah, I mean, one snap can mess up a whole game.
There have been a couple times the one long snapper you've been thinking about. He was, you know, he's still pretty young.
He's raw.
He's lucky he had me back there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you were the lead holder for him back in the day, back in the glory days.
What? Back in the glory days.
Miss it, man. Yeah, guys. So tomorrow we're gonna have a little Kid Cudi listening party. Chris, you won't be able to attend because you're in Madison.
Still in Madison. Yeah.
But me and Easton will be dissecting it pretty deeply.
Good.
Yeah. I'm excited for it.
I'm very excited for that. Thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate
for real,
it.
man.
Short notice. I literally called this guy at 10 minutes before he came on, and he's like, "Of course."
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on, Peyton.
Great
really enjoyed
great
it.
little 1 hour episode.
Yeah, perfect. All right, guys. So we'll probably have another one coming out early next week. Appreciate everyone for tuning in, and have a good weekend.